Alright, welcome to another day of Ether Raids. We have our first of two matches left to close out the week. This one we're going to go into with the team that has been the preferred choice so far for this week. The Melee Gale Force team, the new Melee Gale Force team that, I've cooked up with the arrival of the new Lin. And we're just going to see how this works, or rather, it's been working rather well thus far this week. So we're going to see how it plays into this current terrain map yet again. Probably going to be seeing more of this moving forward, of course, since the emblem ring is very, very good. Horn ring is very good. So we're going to start to see more iterations of this, more types of terrain interactions as well. So it's good to have a team that can maneuver through something like this and still be successful. We have avenues here to go up and attack into the team. We're going to try to take advantage of them where possible, and we're just going to hope for the best. Let's see how this one plays out. I have my melee setup pretty much locked in, and we're going to take advantage of Baldr's flyer mobility as well to see if we can get some additional support from that. We're going to use her to put down the terrain. I'm actually thinking of the crazy thing is, Deadly Miasma is primarily a flyer thing. There isn't really a melee unit that has that, or has the ability to put down the Deadly Miasma. Well, not to say melee. Guess non-flyer would be the best way to describe it. Unit that puts down the miasma terrain aside from Valentine's Dimitri, but Dimitri is kind of not the greatest in terms of performance or a good unit, so it's kind of tough to not have a flyer on your team to help you to clear terrain effects like this. And that's really why Baldr's here, aside from her ability to take out Black Knights and other potentially strong units. You definitely need to have some form of terrain cancellation. Now, that could probably be in the form of Lumera, who has is that the second largest? I'm not quite sure, but another very large terrain. So you could have Lumera as an option, but I personally don't think, well, one, she's a dragon. And you're not really going to be gale forcing with dragon units. There just isn't an option for that at the moment. Unless you're legendary Ninian. So yeah, there just isn't an option for that. So yeah, you just don't have a ton of methods to clear the terrain, or override the terrain, I should say, without the Deadly Miasma, which I feel is the most consistent. And then you're looking at the flame terrain, and not the biggest spread. It's line 3x3. I forget how, but it's primarily a line, and it's not covering very much. So the flame terrain isn't very great. And then the units that can put down the rock terrain aren't that effective at gale forcing. And then you have legendary Male Corrin, who's useless with his water terrain. And then on top of that, what do you have? What else do you have? You have I think those are the ones primarily. I think so.
You have orders?
But yeah, how's your week been going? How have you been dealing with Corrin's new terrain effects? How have you been dealing with Lin?
Are there bandits here?
Got that one Lin on defense rather. We played against that one Lin. So that was interesting to see. I saw a few people floating around that idea. I don't think it's the greatest because she's a light mythic, for one. And two, it's not a start of phase effect. Is that the right term now? You don't get it right away is essentially what I'm saying. You have to wait. So it's not the greatest thing to have on a defense where you need to have all of your effects ready for the enemy team to attack into you. But I do think it's probably something that IS will expand into along the way. I think it's a good it's a good defensive effect to give everyone the ability to counterattack. It's essentially prime for your melee threats, for your melee units on defense, which is a great thing to have. I do see that status effects being outsourced to someone who is not Lin. So that's definitely something that IS will do in the future on some type of seasonal banner. But yeah, how have you all been dealing with the Corrin terrain? Have you just been getting stuck with the cancer control? Have you been overriding the terrain? Have you been using Lumera more? Who has... That's an interesting way to give a unit more popularity, to give her a specific niche, but then at the same time, she's still not the... She could get an ult, you know? A Lumera ult would be fantastic right now. Something that would have her be more current. And if they were to give her like the ability to Gale Force somehow, just get an extra action on Lumera, that would make her meta essentially, because she would counter what one of the main threats is at the moment, which is the terrain effect. So a Lumera ult actually would cook so hard right now if IS were to do that. So I mean, that's something to potentially keep an eye out for, unless they're just going to release an entirely new terrain type which counters whatever it is that Corrin does. But I don't see a straight up counter in the form of a new terrain. I could see a Lumera ult. I could see that happening, or maybe even a Ratatoskr ult. That could be something that we see as well in the near future. But for now, I think it's probably best to initiate here on BK just to get the Deadly Miasma down, even though we're not getting the KO because Furrier's effects and just not cleansing my debuffs as well. So yeah, we're just missing the KO because of those things. But I think it's worth it to still get the terrain down. We can now pass through with Fear and start taking out some of the troublesome units here, particularly Rhea, because she's the duo or harmonic duo unit. Yeah, so we get to do all of our dual hindrance, do all of our dual shenanigans and get going in that capacity. So that's a big benefit to us to get her off the map as quickly as possible. And then my biggest concern is I don't know if I'm going to be able to get Peony into any type of position to be able to utilize her dance, unless I get significant damage at some point while we're playing this. But I don't see where that is going to happen. I was kind of hoping for it to happen with Baldr, but that didn't pop off. BK just didn't do any damage to her really on the counter attack. So I don't know. I don't know if Peony's going to be able to use her dance for anything. She's kind of stuck in the corner here, which is unfortunate. Maybe I should have... That's something to examine for this team, for the future of this team. I mean, Lynn is going to be bonus for the remainder of the month, so I don't really have to swap this team out very much. I think I'm going to keep the team in its current format, unless, I'm just changing a few things here and there. But something to consider is Peony's mobility now, given the fact that I have... Well, it's not Plumeria's fault. It's the other units. The other units are outpacing my dancer, is essentially what's happening. So I don't know how I'm going to cover that difference with Peony specifically, since what you're getting there is an additional action from her dance on one of your units that you need that action from, that action economy from. So it's good to have Peony in that role. I just don't know how to maneuver her around the pitch, around the map pitch, football pitch. I don't know how to maneuver Peony around the map in this current meta. That's something that I have yet to resolve. So yeah, I'm going to look into that. Maybe, I don't know if I have an immediate solution. Maybe I'll think of something as we play more matches in the future. But for now, for this match in particular, I don't know if Peony is going to be able to do something. I'm going to be hopeful that it's not going to matter too much, but we'll see how that goes. That aside, didn't get the miasma terrain didn't spread as much as I would have liked it to, since I'm still locked out of the left lane to be able to initiate into Emblem Erica. That's an option that I no longer have, or I didn't have to begin with, and I still don't have it. So that's something that was not solved. Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. In terms of what I end up doing there, I don't know what the best solution is for right there, because I'm not sure if the trap there is real or not. So yeah, that's for future me to figure out, like me in 10 minutes. Hopefully I would have figured it out by then. But so far so good. We're taking out the units that we need to take out. I'm thinking we're gonna probably leave Tree Man for last, if we can get Hinoka over there and use the style effect with Lyn from Lyn to have Sigurd removed. Sigurd is currently the biggest threat we face, so I just need to be able to. If I can get rid of Sigurd, we can safely wait a turn. That is my biggest concern at the moment, getting Sigurd off the map. How to achieve that? I think we're kind of stuck here, actually. I don't see a way to... yeah, like I was saying, I don't see a way to get Peony up there. Unless I were to step on one of these bolt traps. But it's a big gamble. The one I'm considering, or the one that it would need to be real, is this one right here. Which I'm going to step on because I don't see an avenue for me to win unless I step on this trap. It's fake. All right, we lose this. Yeah, we lose this. There is another option. I could take out Tree Man here and just sit in front of Sigurd, but I don't think Fur will be able to survive both of these blue units when they initiate. So, and I think she has a clash effect as well. It's a benefit for Sigurd at the very least, since he won't get his AoE off. So there's that. But I just don't think she survives. So we're gonna have to call this one. I don't see how I win from here. And I can't escape because Baldr is in that spot, and then Sigurd also has the Micaiah ring, which will allow him to chase. So this is the problem I was talking about. Just no way to get my unit across the map, and I just could not solve for that, and that's what's resulted in my loss here, unfortunately. So, I think it's good defensive positioning at the very least, which is what led to my downfall here. So it's a good layout for your map here, and having enough melee units for it to work as well. I think that's another thing that worked in your favor. Because if there's a ranged unit, I probably would have left them for last, and it would have been easy to pin them, but that was not the case. So yeah, we're gonna call it here, man. Let's play another one. GG's.